Alola, alola, La couple. I hope we are doing okay. Today the video format is a little bit different, but we have to roll with the punches, don't we? Lelo, Mpawan, July, and we've come with another video. I think my name should change from the loneliest sweet potato to the busiest sweet potato. Nonetheless, guys, I understand the uploads have been stagnant, and I'm here to rectify that, guys. We have brought you another video, and this one is quite different from the format that we are usually used to. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine pertaining this rise of this red pill bullshit, especially now that it's become very, very common and popular in this country. Particularly, a particular gentleman did stand out to us. We will link the audio and the original video in the description together so that you don't get lost. You have that referencing going on. However, as far as the conversation goes pertaining the red pill bullshit that has been going on in this country and its popularity throughout the world, I found it prudent and necessary to discuss it with this friend of mine. So the following audio is a reaction to a video of a guy that had posted, I think in 2022, pertaining well, his very interesting thoughts. You're gonna hear it. Okay, so mukulingana nama guidelines. The following topics that are gonna be discussed concern a minority group in society that is discriminated against several times. For time immemorial, actually, this group of people has been discriminated against, and some of the talking points that we have in this particular video does contain a lot of strong language, a lot of examples, a lot of graphic talking points. I will ask you to proceed with caution if that's not your kind of thing, and if it's not, you can click the next video. We'll see you in the next one. However, let's get it rolling.
We are ready.
So, one thing some conversations I have with Puba, having me see some Zambian red pill shit. You told me this video is gonna be worth my time. Not saying I'm like an expert jiu-jitsu artist when it comes to taking down these people in the intellectual space of whatever and some bullshit like that. No, I'm just like a concerned citizen for where exactly Zambia is heading with this uncurated stupidity that we like to call.
I'm sorry. I
It's a
think
sort of
if you are concerned, you're I think 10 years too late
I know
about
it's
the
like
state
one
of this country.
And you know those things, it's like one of those situations, it's like one of those things where like you have aliens, right, that apparently come to Earth and then find a bunch of apes and they're like, yeah, these niggas ain't gonna do shit. Just forget this planet, let's just leave it alone.
And then you
they come
blink.
back after like 2 million years. Yeah, you come back and you come and find that these niggas apparently are warring and shit, and next thing you know, you live for another, like that Rick and Morty episode, like say, where all he wanted was just some fucking, what do you call it again? Some fucking wine? Is it wine?
Yeah.
An episode, like say,
Yeah.
like that. Like the more you come back to, the more these guys keep on getting technological advance and everything.
They were
like,
so
like
the Mr. Nimbus episode. I remember that
yes.
one.
No. Is it Mr. Nimbus, the one? Yeah, the Nimbus one.
Yes,
The wine.
delicious. Another.
More. That's the one I'm talking about. Like say. So, I feel like Zambia has a lot of unfiltered people who are starting to really. I don't even know why these things are. You know what? Let's remember for too long. Let's get into the video. Show me what we're talking about.
Let me show you
I'll
this
try my
guy.
best to.
Try your best.
I'll try my best to
not throw up.
To be on point. Although I do know for a fact that such people, from the way you describe them to me, sound like people that's pure of bullshit. And the problem with bullshit is it takes more effort to debunk everything with truth, because as you keep debunking it, somebody can always come up with their own.
Sorry. Yeah.
I started to debunk them. They also come up with more particular ways of lying. It's harder to debunk a lie as opposed to using truth, because it always takes time for you to get there. But let's just see what this guy is talking about, and let's get in. I'm down for it.
All right. All right.
Yes. There is nothing funny about our dress, our makeup in the name of comedy. There is nothing funny. You understand? We can tell jokes. A comedian can happen without wearing all that nonsense on them. I've never found Dorica funny. I have never found Anticheche funny. I have never found Ben Lombe funny, or that other dude, whatever his name is, that weirdo. I've never found them funny. You understand? What you Zambia you don't understand that there is this strong energy out there, strong movement that is trying to normalize what you're seeing every day. You can't turn on the TV.
I paused it.
Before we get into our tinfoil hat conspiracy theory bullshit right now, because I can see us all we're going right now, it's already starting to sound tinfoily. So I hope you have a hat for yourself, Asha, because this is like we're getting to the agenda, the secret organization that's working against the Zambians in order for them to make us, I don't know.
They're implanting chips in squirrels to spy on you from your trees.
First of all, we don't have squirrels, we have rats and everything else in Zambia.
And a lot of stray cats. They might implant them in the stray cats. Who knows?
I feel so. Okay, so in his first argument, he says, I think there's nothing funny. I like how this guy speaks, because every time he's speaking, he feels as if he's speaking from a point of authority, but then it goes back to the same exact question. I'm sorry, but this nigga's an idiot. Let me start by saying that I already feel like everything is going to be saying beyond this point is going to be nothing but a bunch of subjective nonsense that's going to be I'm screamed through. I'm speaking objective facts, but I'm sure he's not going to quote anything because that's already there. I don't think this person understands the concept of what comedy is. Now, what makes people have humor or laugh and everything else and whatnot may differ for various people. That's why they always say comedy in itself is subjective.
True.
What somebody may find funny, other might not.
That's
Some
true.
people think Medea is funny. I don't think Medea is funny.
I think she's not.
It doesn't mean it doesn't mean that I think Medea is like, I'm funny. I just don't think she's funny to fucking me. Okay. Second of all, he mentioned Ben Lombe. I think Ben Lombe is just gay.
He's not a cross-dresser. Yeah.
He's just gay. Okay.
Like, know your gays, man. If you're gonna criticize them, know your gays.
Exactly. Like I feel like Ben Lombe is like God has been out of the closet for some time. He's like his face, his body,
He's strutting the hallways. He's not even in the closet.
He just returns there occasionally when it's convenient. But
to look for clothes.
To look for clothes, yes. I feel like guys, comedy is very subjective. It's very subjective. This is a very subjective element. You don't have to find everything that somebody else finds funny. I don't believe a comedy where, first of all, if anybody started policing comedy, then automatically don't start telling people what they find humor. What people find humorous might not be funny. Some people might find this stupid joke. Why did the orange stop rolling down the hill?
Because it ran out of juice. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Or, I don't know, some stupid joke like that. Like you can have something that's stupid. Or you can have a joke that sounds more like this. What's the difference between bowling balls and a bunch of babies? And somebody might say, what? If they're in the back of a truck, one is easier to offload using a pitchfork. It's like, you don't have to laugh at that, but it's like, to some people, it's dark humor. It's dark humor.
I know.
Baby without hands and legs.
Shut up.
At your doorstep.
Don't.
Matt. It's Matt. Okay? Matt.
What?
And it...
Okay, this is supposed to go on YouTube. Can you cool it with like the dead baby jokes?
Chillax. Okay, fine. I'm just trying to prove my point here.
Okay.
Which is
back to the video. The guy.
Back to the video, okay?
Yes.
Comedy is subjective. All right? I just feel like it's subjective, and you don't have to find it funny. But to call it unfunny because you don't find it funny is not a valid point to make something unfunny. Ben Lombe is not the only person. Bob Nkosha is not the only person that dresses up in that. What you could criticize Zambian comedy for is the fact that we rely more so on buffoonery or making fools of ourselves to entertain, more so than relying on context and humor, which is its own form of comedy as well. I mean, look at the Japanese. Most of the Japanese people tend to rely a lot on gags and buffoonery to make you laugh.
Yeah, a lot of props.
Times to them, it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, other people like British people prefer to make you laugh through quirky conversations and laughing and I know it's comedy conversations and everything else. Like they have this gag humor, you know, like they talk a lot, they give funny puns. That's their shit. That's what I'm trying to say. Comedy in itself is varied. What makes comedy fancy is just that subjectivity. So let me just say that I already feel like this guy's gonna be a problem. I'm sorry I went too much time on this, but sorry, I don't know what you think about this. This is just subjectivity.
True. Subjectivity is true. Remember I told you at the beginning of this conversation to say it's not really about like what you find funny, because you can find certain things not funny, and that's entirely true. That's true according to you. You don't have to police other people into believing that's true for them as well.
Cool.
If people want to pretend to be women for the sake of comedy, let them do so. If they have an audience for that, that's also fine. But I don't think it's right to call them retarded or something.
Exactly. No. But for me, what bothers me is how now he segues into this whole entire bullshit of saying, "Can't you see there's an agenda?"
Exactly. We haven't even gotten to that part yet.
This is a person that doesn't possess any critical thinking class. I'm sure everybody knows this. Just because event A happens before event B does not mean event A cause event event B. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense? Try to break it down a little bit. In short, just because something has a probable cause doesn't necessarily mean the cause in itself happens to be. As humans, we have a habit of picking up patterns in certain things even while they are not. So he's drawing conclusion of one little small thing and expanding it to a whole entire issue that I think is more complex as to more than that. The reason as to why I feel men may start possessing much more feminine traits is similar to the reason why women must start possessing more male-like traits in a modern society. I feel like it's an equal exchange that he's blowing out of context and trying to blame more so on this stupid conspiracy theory of women dressing up as Jama. Okay, I may be wrong about this, but let's keep watching the video. I feel like this is where
Alright, let's hear what he has to say next. Let's see what we can criticize him a little bit more on.
Don't sound like news. You sound lame.
Go on. Shut up, I'm not trying to sound lame. I was trying to help you segue because you had gone too much. We're only 44 seconds into a 6-minute video, and we've spent
it doesn't matter.
10 minutes.
That's how bad it is. It doesn't matter. Go on.
This is the first run. Okay, I won't sound very newsish, but you know what? I know I'm gonna keep saying shit about this guy because I'm gonna find myself disagreeing with a whole lot of his shit. So let me play, then see what else we can, fuck him up on.
Go on. Okay.
Without seeing weird things. They are in every movie. Vari manyimbo, vari nama advert. Uletamba fe bola advert during halftime. You see they are on a date vari tamba ball. They are behaving in a very peculiar way. Haven't you noticed that? They are now putting it in cartoons. Udia Mickey Mouse na kwa to mnangu ole fuala nombe dress. You understand? What are they trying to tell to you?
Pause. This retarded fact just not know the fact that Mickey Mouse has a partner called Minnie who wears pink and blue white polka dots. I think that's what he's talking about, right?
I don't know.
Look it up. I think it should be it's Minnie Mouse.
Yeah,
there's Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. His
Minnie Mouse. I don't know if he's referring to Minnie Mouse or the new episodes of Mickey Mouse have now included a transgender character.
Okay, but then
wait, I need to fact check this shit.
Isn't it? Yeah, isn't it funny? He's saying, isn't it funny that you notice the fact that there's women on women? I'm like guys on guys. I'm like, nigga, do you know how long people have been gay?
Right? People have been gay longer than you've been alive, nigga. Calm down.
It's like a white person going about the place and saying things like, "Oh my God, I can't believe these black people suffer so much in modern day society." Nigga, they've been suffering for the longest time. It's just because you're noticing them now doesn't mean they haven't been. Same thing. That's because you don't. These are not new things. No, go on. That's not weird. I think he's talking about meaning, exactly.
They are on a date where they are behaving in a very peculiar way. Haven't you noticed that? They are now putting it in cartoons. Mickey Mouse na kwa to mnangu ole fuala nombe dress. You understand? What are they trying to tell to you? What are they trying to tell your sons? What are they trying to tell my son? That is okay. Dress,
No, I don't give a fuck about
it's
society.
not okay.
But
You
anyway, go on.
understand? They're trying to kill masculinity. They're trying to erase it, which is why they give it such things as toxic masculinity. Men of today are this, men of that. They're trying to feminize us.
Oh, shut up.
Because when they do that, we'll be weak. We won't speak out. We'll be timid.
Okay.
I just want to tell this guy to shut up. I'm sorry.
No, there's a point where we need to. The reason why I feel like this video might be a problem is because he's spewing so much malarkey that it's really difficult for us to just ignore some shit he's saying. There's so many points here that would take me hours to explain, but I'm gonna try to just focus on what really he's trying to say here, which is very toxic in itself. For starters, the moment people stop criticizing any particular concept, that's the time the concept in itself becomes corrupt. Okay, the moment you stop questioning your democracy, chances are you're gonna be ruled by some sort of tyrannical thing, because if you can't see, nothing is perfect. Neither is this so-called concept of masculinity. Now, I would go deep into what masculinity itself happens to be, which we can attribute to being a similar element to whiteness, which is the absence of being black. So if everybody has color, then the absence of those qualities that you feel are negative automatically become that. So if you deem femaleness as something that's negative, then anything that is devoid of those negative traits that you call femininity then happen to be praised, which is what masculinity is. I fail to understand how people can't reason with the fact that sexuality in itself happens to be a spectrum that can exist from being extremely feminine to being extremely male, and everybody else falls in between. So different people will express different values of this, like a fucking Roy G. Beef type shit. I don't want to go too deep into this shit, but what I'm trying to say is...
Hence the rainbow. They're not just
that,
stealing the rainbow for nothing. It is a spectrum. That's the best way you can describe sexuality. But because you're so closed-minded, you don't want to listen to it. You just think it's rigid as male and female. It's not.
It's never been. So, even that's the way you talk about it, my nigga, do you get pussy? Because I feel like you hate women when you say there's something, like, what you're inherently saying is everything is right with being masculine and there's everything wrong with being feminine. Like there's something inherently wrong with being or embodying female traits. And you want to rid yourself of anything that's thing. You're like that mixed nigga that's always trying to, do everything to prove the fact that his black side is shit. Like, people can express both qualities, male and feminine. What the fuck is wrong with that? What do you mean masculinity is being under control? It's being attacked.
It's being challenged.
Masculinity has been dominating the world for the longest time, and half the time, last time I checked, it wasn't a good thing. When we were in control, we used to subjugate women, rape them, pillage them, kill them, sell them, whatnot, whatever. This is the best time women have ever had, and it's because we kind of reduce the dosage of masculinity. So what the fuck do you mean by saying we need to bring that back? Like, I'm sorry, this is just blatantly, I'm not going to say you don't like women, but I feel like it speaks a lot to your inferiority complex.
And your relationship with women, yeah.
With women, exactly, because like, to you guys, it seems more like masculinity is anything that is devoid of femininity, which to me is the definition of what it means to be toxic. As a man, if you don't have that female touch, there's something wrong with you. So you end up having fucking psychopaths. So I'm trying to understand these people that are championing this pureness of just masculinity. It confuses me. What the fuck is masculinity? You can't even describe it. But anyway, go on. I'm sorry. I just felt like that's something very important.
That's valid, actually.
Highlight.
That was quite valid, because honestly, I don't agree with him either when he says they are tarnishing or erasing masculinity. No, they're not. This is the best time to... There's no point in history where it has ever been a bad time to exist as a man. No point at all.
Exactly.
But I can point to several points in history where it's been bad to exist as a woman.
Bro, here's what I think. When you're used to being privileged and somebody asks you for equal rights, you begin to feel as if they're stepping on your rights. Like how Abasungu, who always had first of all fire, the moment black people started saying, why can't we have the same exact thing, they felt like those people were stepping out of line.
No.
The same exact way, when women ask you to be better men, you feel it's a challenge to your masculinity because it's always been the norm. My nigga, wake up. For women, it never was. I'm a guy and I can admit that. Doesn't mean I'm less of a man. It just means I acknowledge the fact that my mother may have experienced a much more different outcome in life as opposed to that, and it's all because of what I had between my legs and what she didn't. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
it's weird. But anyway, that's all I want to say about this point. I'm sorry. I just wanted to, yeah.
No. Let's continue.
We'll be docile, we'll be sleepy. That's what it's all about. And you guys are there laughing. There was an event just a few weeks ago, a fashion event. I won't mention it. And guess what? Uko, like a floodgate, like somebody switched on the light. They just came. And then the organizers said they don't know what was going on. They are not part of any agenda of pushing anything. They are lying. You understand? I wouldn't be surprised if they are funded to do what they're doing. Isn't it just a couple of years back, they wanted to invite Somizi Somgaga, South Africa?
Some guy
He was married to a fellow man. It had to take somebody of the ministry to stop that from happening. And you are seeing them everywhere. They have spiked up. It's like, what now? Ashafia lights there.
What's funny is hold on. What's funny is he's championing the whole bari kanyo kuingisha Somizi in the country because Somizi is part of the LGBT community. What's funny is he's saying it took somebody from the ministry to step in and then to shut that shit down. Yeah, it took like the same tinfoil conspiracy theorist guys. Those guys are the ones you're praising for stopping just a normal, ordinary gay man from coming to the country. Bruv.
Fucking circuit jerk. First of all, let's just address this simple thing. What the fuck is wrong with being gay? Like, that's the thing that I'm trying to understand exactly, because that's the point that he keeps on hammering. Like, the only way his arguments make sense is if you accept the fact that there's something wrong with being gay.
True.
You get what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the basis of his argument.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with the fact that, insert here, argument, being gay.
It's a pseudocode. It's a piece of pseudocode. If gayness is wrong, proceed to the next one. If gayness is not wrong, proceed to the next one.
No, we have to shine to stop Somizi. How does Somizi being gay fuck with you? That's the thing. Are you so insecure about your own masculinity that somebody who's coming to perform in a country that, honestly speaking, you don't even have to watch him, you don't have to know about him? It's not like it's going to affect your kids. It's not like your kid is going to know who Somizi is and everything else. Like, why does it matter to you so much? Why is it such an important thing for you to come here and let us know definitively that there's a problem with a gay man being allowed? And second of all, you damn fucking fucks, separation of church and state. We've lived in societies where the church was the authority as the same way as the church was the political authority and the normal authority, and it is shit.
Mm-hmm.
Zambians, we can't go back there. This whole entire praising of spiritual leaders and everything and whatnot is stupidity. You are pretty much relying on people's fuck. I can't even get into this shit, actually. But to me, that's why the argument starts. Already I can tell you have a Christian bias, stupid mindset on how you should view people like homosexuals.
It's a very
you're trying
old
to find
traditional
validation.
Christian bias, coupled with a very old, very old misogynistic Zambian bias.
Exactly, and trying to find justification in the fact that other people agree with you. My nigga, prove the point that you are right on your own base, not because other people agree with you. And I'm asking you a simple fucking question. What's wrong with him being gay? Like, honestly. Don't say it's unnatural because it is. Don't say because God didn't say, because fuck your God. Everybody else has their own God. And other gods are more tolerant than yours. Take, for example, the same God that you worship in the Bible that apparently is killing everybody and everything and whatnot. In places like Thailand, where they also have Christianity, their version of their God allows homosexuality. That's why they have the whole entire concept, because they married theirs with Buddhism.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a different outlook on Temi boys and everything else. It's all a matter of perspective. So I'm trying to ask exactly, where do you get your authority from to call somebody else wrong? Like, outside who they're fucking, do they not feel like you? Do they not hurt like you? And they're people like you. So I'm trying to understand exactly where you get the authority to deem somebody else who is born naturally just like you as wrong because they don't agree with you. You bigoted asshole. Damn it, you're stupid. Go on.
No, these are played out arguments. Oh my God, my kids. I don't want my kids being raised in this society. Yeah, the same society that has porn available at the tips of your fingers. There's no ad blocks, nothing. The same kind of society that has people singing profanities about women in your society, but oh, God forbid the gays do something. That's hypocritical. Ugh, please.
You are advocating for hatred against a group of people for no other reason than the fact that you just don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that sounds similar to?
Racism.
Every other group we try to keep out of the world.
The skinheads,
Bro,
the racists, the Nazis.
Racists, the Christian fanatics, same shit. Anyway, go on. Oh my God.
Cockroaches everywhere. You understand? You are seeing now about men follow to Pimpinya, they are twerking and shaking like females. Don't you find that
Except me, I like to
awkward?
twerk.
Look at the spike that has gone up. Number Sodom is the thing, number. Today, over every case. Why in this space of time? As we are
bring up your numbers, please. Every time these niggas say this shit and bring up facts, pause, please. Bring up the numbers. Bring up these numbers of sodomy cases that are being recorded with the competency that we have. I'm from Zambia, say I know exactly how the system runs. Tell me exactly this data research that you picked up from a credible organization that clearly says that there's a rise of sodomy and boys being raped in Zambia. I can guarantee you that majority of rape cases that happen overwhelmingly, quote me on this one, 80% of them most likely are going to be women. And of those that are being abused by people that so-called are supposed to be protecting them, their families, their uncles,
And
cousins,
authorities.
police,
Yes.
authorities
Yeah.
do more raping than these people you're accusing. I'm not worried about my daughter being in the room with somebody like Somizi because they're going to have a blast of a time. She's going to relate to him. I'm more worried about you, a misogynistic mindset that feels as if a woman's pussy is your household.
True.
Because you don't value her as a person.
That's true. It's ridiculous because when you think about it, guys, what practically he's trying to say is, if we as Abantu, we cannot, what can I say? We can't exist unless, of course, we shun away this group of people. Like, our society is so crippled by the existence of these people that we just have to shun them away, because if not, they will be the death of our society. Since when? You don't know this, but gay people...
Society was fucked up even before we made them a problem.
Not only that, but gay people have been working in your gardens, your bakeries, your fucking schools. They've been teaching your children in your hospitals. You don't even know that you've been treated by a gay nurse or a lesbian doctor. You don't know that because these people are so well integrated in society that you wouldn't notice. It's just now that they are bringing light to the fact that we are people too, but it doesn't mean they're just spawning like mushrooms from nowhere. Boy,
don't let somebody else's expression of their existence bother you. If you're bothered by someone's existence, there's a problem with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're bothered by somebody saying, hey, I'm also a person too, they're not trying to take over your rights. They're trying to make you acknowledge they also have rights, and you're bothered by them having rights. That's the same argument men made against women. You were bothered by them asking you to treat them like people. Like, do you understand how fucked up that is?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
The funny thing is
weird.
The funny thing about Zambian media and the way they move, they say no, the numbers are rising. The thing is, we like to blow a story out of proportion. One story will make it seem as though this is the norm that has been happening. No, one boy got sodomized Lusaka by some white man who had been sodomizing some boys in the community. All of a sudden, oh, now it's the gays, you see? It's why we can't...
Meanwhile, and not to be too grim, a bunch of religious nuts, 3 of them, managed to capture 10 girls, I think that was the number, and subdue them 11. Using religion and fear, and kept repeatedly raping them.
Yes, Abena Pamela. Meanwhile, when Pamela were arrested, you people kept quiet.
Who did that? Straight men, right?
Pastors, in fact. One of them was a pastor involved. The same person that is of the ministry. Fuck you.
Exactly. And I can come up with so many cases as to the same space of time you guys say Sodom is taking place. How many women have been raped by people that are closest to them? You act like there's a problem? I'm not worried about my child being around a gay person. I'm more worried about the fact, like, what? You know, there are people, right? They just don't rape people. They just don't like, oh my God, I'm gay, so I'm just gonna sleep with a guy. Like, why? Can the guy say no? You think people don't also fire each other? About vibe na bena, then my cycle. Man, go watch Empire.
There's etiquette na bena. They baraikana na bena. Mjamwinde mli community yabo.
I'm going
Baraikana
to yeah, you be the
baraitumira.
most unattractive person. At least at least I
Ero
know.
ero
I feel
nganyulu.
proud.
Uyu kuti
Yeah.
bamukana straight to the point. Kubamukana
Shit.
very unattractive.
Mm-hmm. Even as a guy. Go on, sorry, go on.
This so that we can talk about it, so that when we talk about it, it becomes normal. People become curious. They're trying to spark curiosity in the minds of our society. They talk about, hey, no,
You are
human
gay.
rights, not even human rights. It's a lie. Because human rights, they shouldn't be imposed. They shouldn't be sneaking just to get you to understand. They shouldn't be trying to manipulate you, to brainwash you in order for you to accept them. You understand? They just have to present them. You see if they actually count for you. If they stand within what you believe in, then you can go with them. But they don't want that because they know majority of the Zambians will say no. You have the right to your beliefs, to your customs, to your norms, to your values. But no one is talking about those things. Why? They don't care about them. They don't care. You understand?
Being gay is not a cultural thing.
I'm just telling you the truth. We are under attack as men. And the women out there, you might say, hey, men, this. Don't forget, some of you have sons out there. They are going to turn your sons into the Shinganani, that nonsense you're saying.
I hope this nigga's son becomes gay.
Wait until your son comes back from school. Pusha, Mom, can a guy get pregnant? Just wait. Mukala Papa, what they'll be teaching you.
Pause.
Okay.
Pause. If your child turns out to be gay, say he was always gay.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the simple argument
and
is simple.
I was gonna say I hope this guy's child is actually gay, just like an extra fuck you to him, you know.
Exactly. Like, dude, this guy's giving me a headache. I feel like taking him down is so easy. I don't have to think. God, he's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot. He's really wasting my brain
I'm not
power.
gonna say
He's
he
really
is an
wasting my brain
idiot.
power.
He sounds like one. His points make him sound like an idiot. I don't know him
He's
as
an
a
idiot to
person,
me.
but the points he's speaking
I don't know him
of,
as a person, but
honestly,
judging from what he's
they're
saying, I
quite
can tell he's a
idiotic.
very stupid person.
Yeah, his points are quite
Yes.
idiotic. They don't sound like
What was
somebody.
that point he said about human rights?
He's saying it's not about human rights whenever they allow these people to express themselves freely. Don't be fooled.
So it's not about.
They are.
So it's not
he's
about
saying
human
they
rights when black people ask to be treated as people. It's not about human rights
when women
ask to be treated as equals.
Yeah, when children ask to just be treated like normal children, don't abuse them. No child. When they ask for, labor. Sorry. When they ask to be protected against child abuse. Is that really?
It's not human rights when we ask ourselves to create the charter of how to treat people with mental disabilities, the Mental Disability Act, how to treat people who have special needs. Like, again, so I can tell you, a dumb motherfucker who's ever spent half his time reading anything that is social or political, and you spend half your time watching videos on Twitch. I don't think you're capable to watch. Able to watch Twitch. Most like you're watching them on YouTube, but no, it's free shit. Anyway, it's like. Except a right is permission, okay? Permission to have certain things. But what we're talking about are human needs. The human needs to dignity. Human rights, I feel, has always been a wrong term to use because rights are things that, in the face of a dictator or anybody else that seeks to seek authority, those things tend to comply. And I feel like the world should actually shift. And so I'm going to agree with him, but in a different way to prove that he's wrong. We shouldn't be talking about human rights. We should be talking about human needs because needs are things that you always need. Every person has a right, has a needs to dignity, shelter, healthcare, and needs to be treated as a valuable as a member of society. It doesn't matter who it is. These are needs that people need. You're talking about people who are asking you to be able to express themselves or be people that can be themselves, and you're denying them that on the basis of saying you're taking away this is a problem with rights. Because if people like you get into power, you can take away those people's rights. It just, again, it speaks to how sick you are in the mind. You don't know anything about what human rights also includes these people, whether you like it or not. You don't have to agree with it, but they also have rights just like you do. And them choosing to exercise their rights to not be bothered, choosing their rights to have you arrested when talk slander about them, choosing to have a peace of mind, choosing not to be defamed, choosing not to be any of these things is nothing. It's like you complaining about the fact that women don't deserve a right. Like, for example, the protection that Zambia has against women being, you guys should know this better. Most Zambian women, for the longest time, never really had resources for themselves, so they depended on their husbands. But when their husbands died, the family would come, while they would take away
the property. So they have to enforce the interstate law of succession.
Exactly. Forcing most women to kind of just like
forcing
kind of just
the
like
relatives to be more respectful of the woman's property even after the man's death, her husband's death.
Exactly. That's not them trying to take away your right as a family to take what's yours. It's just somebody acknowledging the fact that whatever wealth that they built was between the two of them. Who the fuck are you niggas to come in and try to take what's theirs? It's not them trying to take away your rights, it's them trying to acknowledge their rights. In a similar sense, my right not to be bothered by somebody else has nothing to do with your right to not want to be bothered by me. I'm not asking you to acknowledge me. I'm just asking you to respect me as a person just like you. This is what I mean by saying it's a very down motherfucker who's seeking for validation in the inbred hatred that's in Zambian society. Again, guys, Zambia wasn't always Christianity. It was our own beliefs, customs, and systems. And gayness has been there since millennia. So let's just, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's get to this, man.
Let's roll with them.
Give me a fucking headache.
I swear.
God damn it.
If you're upset, if you are very upset, matter of fact, you can go and report me to your nearest rainbow in an indanda. You understand? Because this is just becoming ridiculous.
Wow, that's supposed to be like some fun.
And then Mazambia, thinking everything is roses and daisies. Shit is going down and you are docile enough not to look through your lenses to see what the world is turning into. You are now weaker. They've even gone as far as trying to fix our history. They go back in the past. No, but research has found that even in ancient Africa, homosexuality was it's a lie. Buffy, it never existed.
Okay, where's your backup?
Did, what was it called?
Okay, pause.
Listen to what he said.
Sure to name something that happens. Anything that exists, anything that the society believes in has got a name. Then if homosexuality, lesbianism, or whatever this nonsense is going on, if it ever happened in the past, what was it called? What's homosexuality muchinyanja? What's homosexuality muchibemba? What's homosexuality muchilunda? What's bisexual in Lozi? What do you call these things? It simply means they didn't exist in the minds of our ancestors. They didn't even know these things were possible.
Okay.
Pause. What is calcium in Bemba? What is plutonium 244 in Bemba? What is a canal in Bemba? What is a photon in Bemba? These concepts did not exist in Bemba. Henceforth, automatically, they don't exist. You damn motherfucker. That's because you don't know them doesn't mean they don't exist. Many cultures don't have certain concepts or certain things because they don't exist. If a society provides itself in a way that doesn't allow divorce, then divorce won't be because that people will know. In a similar case, this is very stupid to me. Like, he's saying his biggest rhetorical statement is because it doesn't exist in the Zambian context, automatically speaking, it can't exist for real. Bro, a lot of shit exists outside the context of your language. There's so many concepts that you don't even understand that are there. Take, for example, what the fuck is hippopodanka? Do you have a word for that in Bemba? But it exists, right?
Schadenfreude.
That feeling of us. Yes. What do you call Schadenfreude in Bemba? We didn't have a word for it, but we know it exists.
Yeah.
What do you call nuclear fusion in Zambia? I mean, we don't have it, but it exists. So again, I'm not even thinking, like, say, when on debunking this nigga, like, that's a very stupid statement. Like, it never existed.
We need to find somebody more challenging.
Just because it doesn't exist in your history doesn't mean it doesn't exist anywhere. It's like saying, just because in Zambia there are no Muslims, automatically sticking doesn't exist anywhere. It's there. It's there.
What? There's no Bemba word for Muslims, so no Muslims exist. Is that even making sense?
Yeah. Oh my God. Go on.
All right.
Bitches.
Even though it were a taboo, it would have had a name for it to be known that it's a taboo. You understand? But here now we kind of here dreaming, la la land. You think it's jokes, giving them views, giving them reactions. You are sharing. These guys are famous.
Yeah, beat up.
They're hiding through fashion and cosmetics. Most of them own a salon. They're doing very fine, very rich. But if you actually ask,
Is it blaming them for having good business? This motherfucker even know how much women spend on hair.
Iwe, women spend on cosmetics and money more than men spend on any of these trivial things. Dude,
Do you know how much? Do you know how much money people like Zaha makes from selling women's clothing? He's a dude. He's capitalizing on that shit. So if a guy tries to tap into that market, what the fuck is it to you? It's like saying, have you seen this girl? There's an agenda. That's why they're posting these OnlyFans videos so they can try to lure you in because they're being sponsored by somebody else. No, it's not
OnlyFans. That's just the truth.
There's money in all. That's the truth. Because niggas are thirsty.
Yes.
And they need some love.
Yes. There's always a market for it. There's a big market for hair and cosmetics, just like there's a big market for pussy online.
Exactly. But you're mad because they're making money?
Also,
Ben
talented. Call him a fag all you want. Call Abram a fag all you want. Those guys can slay hair. That's why they are good at their business. Not because they are gay, but because they are good with hair. Damn it.
It's not like they need to fuck when doing your hair, right? It's not like you're fucking somebody and then doing your hair at the same time. Like, no.
It's like they need to. It's not like they need to activate their gay powers somehow before they do your hair. They're good.
So weird. What, they're being funded? Team for a hat again? Conspiracy theory?
Yeah,
they're being funded by them. So Ben Lombe is being funded by what?
By, I don't know, a corporate man who's closetedly gay and wants the rest of Zambia to be gay because he's gay too. That's yeah.
Guys, as a guy that lives in America and has experienced the brunt of most of these people, I'll tell you one thing. They don't even know you exist. So, guarantee you're not on the priority of the list of people they want to talk to. I'm just saying, but go on.
Okay.
Yourself, but anyway, Saloni, are you sure it makes this kind of money for you to have this?
Yes.
Somebody's funding them. Somebody's funding them, and you guys are sleeping. There's like a place near Unza, that side. You know the place, which has Utuma seminars, Utuma workshop about what I'm talking about.
Google that place so we can know what it is exactly.
So when it comes Zambia, it's up to you. What I have seen and what I have observed, and I will speak out because it's my freedom to alarm people on what is happening.
Pause. You are entitled to express your stupidity, ignorance, and lack of knowledge. And I am, as one of the few people, as one of the few privileged Zambians that are educated enough to challenge your stupidity on this, I am also within my rights to tell you how much of an idiot you are as a person. But freedom of speech, right? That's what I love about freedom of speech. You are allowed to say whatever the fuck you want to say, and I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. You can agree with me or not, I can agree with you or not. Beautiful. Why would I want to live in a society that's any different? That makes sense. Living in your society means the moment I don't agree with you, automatically I'm a problem. I don't want that society. It sounds like a dealership to me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, continue on. I have never heard somebody go on a complete tirade of stupidity this long. Please, let me keep talking.
We're almost over. Don't worry. It's the torture is almost over.
Of violence, I don't do that. I'm just speaking to wake you up. So you ain't gonna pull feel. Otherwise, brace for impact.
I'm not saying black people. I'm not advocating for violence against black people, but I just feel like if they're in the same space as you, you should do everything you can to kick them out.
First of all, he is inciting violence against gay people. He is inciting violence against cross-dressers in particular.
Mm-hmm.
and everybody else part of the LGBT community that, of course, his religious views does not allow him to do so. And
Extreme, I like the changes. My balls can breathe, my dick can swing. Like, I don't even know why niggas are hitting on dresses, though. But go on, go ahead.
Behind his religiousness, and it's pathetic.
Besides,
You're hiding behind your misogyny.
Dresses as well, half the time,
ama
so who cares?
burka nama hijab lero mwise mufipange ati omwa ometafuira afuara nani kane apo fena aba omenga baya ku MC bala bafuike efitenge pamulandu wako batta ofuire wafuara etoroshi a few weeks afterwards lero mwise mukane efitenge na nani. Let's not be hypocrites.
Fashion is a social contract.
Thank you.
It doesn't have to do with your sexuality.
Thank you. Abana kashibana fuara matoroshi doesn't mean well made. Just means nakutarara.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry, what's his name again?
Ranting guy.
Ranting guy. Well, Mr. Yeah. Ranting guy.
That's what he called.
As a fully baked, as a loaded potato, say.
As a fully baked potato.
As a fully loaded baked potato, say.
Do not accept this rant.
Yeah, I just don't, say.
We do not accept this rant. If this rant had been more substantial with statistics and the basis other than just your misogynistic ways and your religiousness, we would maybe have a conversation. But this in its entirety is a very idiotic conversation that you are trying to make, that you're trying to have. And it's not going to...
Okay, first of all, we have to find better ways of addressing people's stupidity. Other than saying, because apparently we can't diss them as much, because we're trying to get some of them to think like us.
Apparently we can't call people idiotic anyhow, so... How do we go about this?
I'm sorry. My final view on this one entire video, to be honest with you, is something very simple. People, you need to understand the fact that if there's one thing that human beings will always fear is the fear of another. What you don't understand to you is something that you're naturally supposed to reject. It's just something that's very basic in human example. I'll give you an example of how our primal need for fear actually evolved in that way, right? Say, for example, you're standing next to a bush and that bush started to shake. If that bush begins to shake, you have two options. Either you can walk away or you can stay there and see what happens. There are two scenarios that are going to happen. A, it's possible that nothing was there and most likely you're just false alarm, which is a good thing. But if there is something that's wrong there, automatically you're going to
escape it.
Die.
Oh.
No, you're going to die.
If but you do not run.
If you're a person that runs regardless of which, it means, even if the bush is shaking, right? If you run or not, whether the thing was there or not, you get to survive. Whether the other person, if they don't run, the possibility of them dying is there. So in a similar sense for Charafe, we evolved to just avoid most shit before we understand it. And so many things throughout history we didn't understand. We didn't understand race. We didn't understand sex. We didn't understand society norms. We didn't understand gender. We didn't understand science or nature and itself. We didn't understand a lot of things because they were scary to us. Mm-hmm. Change is something that, weirdly enough, as humans, we try to avoid because the concept of us completely just vanishing into nothingness is scary. So we invent immortalization in the societies that we make through customs, religions, society, whatever we may call it. And it structures us to feel as if these things are perpetual. They've always been there, but it's not the norm. Society is dynamic. It evolves depending on the needs of the people. And I feel like the best thing we can do right now is embrace the change that comes with it, because just like the time before us, everything keeps on changing. I really don't appreciate niggas that spew such kind of bullshit, because these are the people that try to keep us in a position where we do not change.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for the longest time, only half the world was working until we realized by involving the other half, we could increase productivity. In a similar way, you want to restrict the freedoms of a group of people that already are existing. Like it or not, these are people that do exist, and you not wanting them there or not liking them doesn't make them exist any less. And I feel like it speaks more so to your ignorance and your lack of understanding and your lack of empathy and your lack of security in yourself, that you spend your time trying to find validation and reasons to put down another group, now to give your group significance. Again, the world has had problems before we acknowledge, and you get me right. Gay people have been there for the longest time. My nigga, the words such as homosexual, hermaphrodite, and everything else have been there since the Greek times. If you're looking for terms that are used in such terms, look for the Greeks. They had words for being gay. Being gay in Greek society, in Roman society, or society before that was pretty much normal. All right. Do not forget the fact that for 2,000 years, most of the earth has been ruled by Christianity, which in itself is anti-homosexuality. So it's only normal that for that long, people develop a society where they feel as if
They
being
should
anti-gay has always
disdain.
been the norm.
Yeah, they should
But
show
don't
a
forget, there have
disdain.
been other civilizations beyond Christianity, beyond what we believe is normal. So I just implore people, do not be as backwards as these people, because as a person living outside Zambia, I'm telling you, these are the things that people pinpoint to us that make it difficult for us to develop. This is why Twashaila backwards. We allow tradition, religion, and internalized hatreds to govern our thinking. And I feel that's the reason why we can't be embracive. Be like South Africa. It's a rainbow nation. In South Africa, you can be gay. It's not a problem. Namibia, you can be gay. It's not a problem. No one ever died. In Botswana, you can be gay. It's not a problem. Do not sit there and champion religions that were given to you by a white man and say that's your base of strong.
True.
Whatever your name is, ranting guy, you are an idiot. That's the best way I can put it, which puba. And I think that's where I'm going to end.
This is where we're gonna end too, cause fam, your old mentality y'abantu abamtusha abam 19 pendef kondo muisheko kunuma. Otherwise, if you want to progress as a society, putting restrictions on people's feelings, on what they should find funny, how they should interact with people of the opposite sex or of the same sex, you are the people hampering development and thoughts
Progress.
like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
All right. The loaded baked potato is out, success.
And Miss Potato is finna eat herself some loaded baked potato.